The story goes back to year 1665. The city of London was ravaged by a plague, called the Great Plague of London, killing quarter of its population. At that time, 23-year-old Isaac Newton was a student at Trinity College, Cambridge. The college closed in response to the plague, forcing students to return to their home. Newton retreated to his family farm of Woolsthorpe Manor, some 95 kilometers northwest of Cambridge. Woolsthorpe provided the sort of quiet, serene environment that allowed a mind like Newton's to journey, uninterrupted, to the farthest reaches of the imagination. During his time in quarantine, one of the first things Newton worked on was to understand the properties of light better. His experiment involved drilling a small hole in the shutter of his bedroom window for light to shine through. He then allowed the light to pass through two prisms. The first prism split the white light into different colors, but the second prism recombined the colors into white light once again. This experiment showed him that white light was made up of 7 different colors, which are visible to the naked eye when dispersed through a glass medium. During his time in quarantine, Newton also did groundbreaking discoveries in mathematics, which are now the fundamentals of calculus. Finally, this was the period that birthed the Newtonian legend of the falling apple. Contrary to popular belief, the apple did not fall into Newton's head. In fact, while looking at the orchard outside his bedroom, Newton saw an apple fall from the tree and questioned why it fall straight to the ground. This in turn made him think that the force that pulls an apple to the ground might be the same force that governs the moon's attraction to Earth and, therefore, keeps the moon in its orbit. This eventually led to Newton's law of universal gravitation. It states that all objects are attracted to each other by gravity and lays out a formula to calculate the gravitational force between objects. The Great Plague eventually ended in 1667 and Newton returned to Trinity College to complete his studies. In few months Newton became a fellow and ultimately a professor. He continued his work and research and published one of the most important books in science history, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, also known as the Principia, in 1687. This book contains his law of universal gravitation, his work on developing calculus, and his laws of motion. He also wrote another important book published in 1704, Optics, or A Treatise of the Reflections, Refractions, Inflections and Colors of Light, also now known simply as Optics. This book details Newton's prism experiments along with other experiments and theories relating to light and color. The discoveries he made during his time away from campus, though, would form the foundation of his historic career for years to come and become some of the greatest scientific breakthroughs.